So going back to review the original files again, we have on the clear list scenes for Kamen, scenes for Yuka, scenes for Haruka, scenes for Saki, scenes for Kurumi, scenes for Izumi Kure, I don't know how to pronounce that exactly, scenes for Izumi, okay, and then we can look at the list of endings here and compare that to the list of endings on the Love Engine port. So on the Love Engine port, we have, so far I've gotten Yuka bad, Yuka good, Haruka good, Saki good, Kurumi bad, Kurumi good. Going back to the original files, we see 4 letters, 5 letters, 4 letters, 6 letters. I presume this is Yuka route good ending. And this would be Yuka route bad ending, just taking a guess. This one is probably Haruka route good ending, Haruka route bad ending. This is likely Saki route good ending, Saki route bad ending. This is likely Kurumi, because that's 6 letters, route good ending, Kurumi route bad ending. Being in the exact same order that they are in the Love Engine port. So just a reminder, right? Same order as here. I'm bringing this up because on the original files it actually showed you how many letters there are in each word of the description of each ending. So what's next is 5 letters, 4 letters, 6 letters, 1 letter, or 1 character. I'm going to take a guess and assume that this is trying to say Izumi, because Izumi's 5 letters. Route is, though, Kure, ending 1. Just to guess, I don't actually know the answer. If that happens to be correct by chance, it's not because I knew it. Probably Izumi Kure ending 2. So probably Izumi Kure is the next ending you're kind of supposed to get, or the game developers predicted that you would get next. But then we have Izumi Kure bad ending. I would presume that's what that is because of the amount of letters. But then we have these. And I assume this is Izumi route good ending, Izumi route bad ending 1, Izumi route bad ending 2. So after the Izumi Kure, then you have the regular Izumi. Then you have 8-letter word, and then probably bad 8-letter word. So I don't know what the 8 letters is. I know there are words like victory that are 8 characters. Let's see. How many characters are there in infinity? 8 letters. Yeah, there's 8. There's 8 characters in infinity as well. So that could be infinity, and then 3 letters infinity or something, right? But I don't know what that is. So that assumes the next ending the game expects me to get is the Izumi Kure ending. And so far, I've generally followed the ending pattern of what the game kind of seems to be expecting. I did do Kurumi before Saki, but I would say that indeed Saki's ending was easier to get than Kurumi's. Kurumi's is a bit of a needle thread. You have to pick specific options, I believe, while you're at the shrine in order to get it. So last time I recorded this, I said that I did not really like the romance plots in this game. And I would think if I were to say that, then it would be somewhat required of me to explain why. But it's really hard for me to explain why. The answer may simply just be, I don't really like romance in general. But I'll try my best to say something about this. It seems to kind of try to combine some Lean On Me by Bill Withers with Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran into like the same song. Or if you want to like go more extreme with that idea, combining Lean On Me with The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran and making them into the same song. And I'm really not a fan of Shape of You, by the way. Very, very not a fan. It's for each of those girls, for each of their routes, they each have some sort of baggage. They have something from their past that's putting them into a kind of negative mindset, where they're at, no one would believe them that they didn't destroy the painting, or their parents kind of gave them away after their older sister, adopted, perhaps you could argue, abused them, because they weren't the real one, or they weren't. They were a clone of someone else, and they didn't figure out a way to be able to raise both at the same time and not be suspicious. So they kind of gave away the clone and kept the original, which would give you that complex of there's something the original about the original that makes you special if you're a clone. Even though if you have twins, how do you tell which was the original? But anyway, or they have some sort of scar on their back that some boy rejected them over at some time ago. Or I think Yuka's case, she did not profess love to some boy from middle school in their first year of high school before he died. It has this baggage, and basically the main character fixes their baggage, or tries to fill the gap that they explain to them why this wasn't such a bad thing, or try to compensate, right? And this ends up earning him the girl, right? After this, they make out, essentially. Now, you might go, this seems kind of fine, right? If you find a man that understands you through and through, right? It's able to accept you for what you are, despite whatever you're carrying around. Right, and you can share all of the intimate secrets you have about your life that you couldn't share with anybody else with him, because that's kind of required, right? And you can kind of be like one person and don't have to hide things. Then you've already checked off a lot of the boxes on your checklist with this boy, right? So it doesn't make no sense for if someone can kind of understand your baggage and accept you for what you are despite your baggage, that would not, facilitate starting a romantic relationship with you. However, it happens with every single girl. It happens with all four. And so it's kind of like setting up a formula, setting up this like instruction set that you find a girl with baggage. You try to fix her baggage, or I guess fix baggage, carry it for her. And then that gets you the girl, which is like, no, how about we just be nice to be nice? Why does it always have to end in a thing, like an intimate thing? Because it's there, and it makes you really wish that there would be some route where you help out somebody and you don't start a relationship with them. And Kurumi's, it's just good, right? You just be good, right? It doesn't have to end in kissing. And Kurumi's ending seems like it's trying to be that. It starts out like it may be that. Especially, I would think so because Kurumi is so much younger than the main character. She's 3 years younger. It's a little accentuated by how she's only 17. Like, my parents are actually 3 years apart, but they met when they were a lot older. So it was like apart by a much lesser proportion of their lives. So you don't think it's going to be like a kissing thing. And then it turns out to be a kissing thing, and it's really disappointing. So it's okay with like one of these characters or two of these characters. But like every character, it just, come on, why? So that's maybe why I didn't like it so much. I mean, Saki's a little bit more direct. You get the girl by pursuing the girl. It's a little bit more of a blind pursuit, so it makes a little bit more sense in that sense. It also makes it sillier and harder to read out loud. However, the game has structure that it has to have, which makes some weird breaks. So, for example, you get really infatuated with the girl when you start their route, usually. But because the game has to be sort of common or generic before it differentiates into routes. It tends to come on really sudden on April 5th. It's like you're just kind of hanging out, and suddenly you're all into her on the 5th. But also, Saki's routes suffer for this a lot. You have to thread the needle with a set of choices on the second week, or the second pass. And if you choose the wrong choices, it has to result in a bad ending. Which means the last choice is going to be the decider between the good and the bad ending, and it's only one choice, and if you fail it, you get death. If you win it, you get success. Which, it just kind of has to be because of the gameplay mechanics. With Saki's route, though, you literally are, you're switching between trust me or I trust you. But what you're trying to convince Saki to trust you about is that you trust her. So these are kind of really similar. In fact, they're so similar that when I got to that choice for the first time, I forgot which was the original, which is the default if you don't unlock that choice, which would be the bad answer, so that the one with nuance would be the right one. So I forgot which one it was, and so I hit the wrong one. But despite like those being subtly different, because what you're trying to convince Saki to trust you about is that you trust her or just straight up trust me. Those are subtly different, but it's like if you do pick one, she jumps to her death, and you pick the other, she comes back over the railing, and you do this ridiculous kiss body entanglement. I don't want to use PewDiePie words here, but fricky. I will. Thing happen, which the game seems to try to contrast heavily, even though maybe you could argue that those are very similar things, but it's like over just that one very similar choice. It's like, that's really silly. And of course the ending ends with essentially a proposal for fornication, because Saki wants to move in with you, and I didn't know how to react to that besides at the end just kind of saying, that was bad. You have to understand when you decide to play these Japanese visual novel games, that stuff's going to happen. You just got to kind of realize that that's going to happen. Anyway, I noticed that there's a lot of emphasis on women gulping down things in this game. Like when you first meet Haruka, she pours a glass of water and suddenly gulps it down in one gulp. Well, I don't know why they do that. I mean, Yuka gulps down beer really quickly, which they're trying to emphasize a character trait. You usually just don't gulp down beer. Beer is something that's supposed to taste good. You only gulp down beer around other people. You really wouldn't, because doing so shows that you're trying to get drunk, which is kind of uncouth. But it reminds me of, what was it, that Giants Live World Tour Finals in 2017, where Robert Oberst kind of got famous, because Robert Oberst is kind of a mediocre strongman. He's not that good at strongman. He's good at kind of playing the social media game. That's how he gets famous. By predicting how many reps Eddie Hall would do in an overhead press. He said he's only going to get 2 reps, and Eddie proceeds to only get 2 reps. And I think Robert got second place in the event behind Zydrunas or something. And he, like, afterwards just grabs a beer, like, out of the hand of someone in the audience. He steals the beer and gulps it down in the show. As like a showman thing, to get attention, right? To increase his fame. And, yeah, partly just because World's Strongest Man is going on, right? 2021 is going on at the time of this recording. So I'm thinking about gulping down beer and strongman at the same time. Anyway, so I gotta hit the Izumi Kure ending, which got unlocked last time for somehow. I guess if you get Saki and Kurumi and Haruka and Yuka, you unlock it. So I gotta figure out a way to hit this ending. I don't know how you would do it, because there isn't really many, like, Izumi options in your choice tree. But maybe some will open up, I don't know. Let's watch the opening again, because you can never get too much of the opening. Yay. They picked someone with a singer with a very pure sounding voice for that. Um, Maybe they sing a lot of opening anime openings. I don't know. Um, so I'll kind of hit things. Um, okay, so this is the big one. It kind of makes sense that going to the ocean with Haruka would be what you would choose for Kurumi and Haruka, obviously, because Kurumi is the original of Haruka, and they're raised in the same household briefly, so they're linked. Whereas for Saki, you want to play tennis with Yuka because Yuka is Saki's old friend from middle school, right? So they kind of are related. If I'm targeting Azumi, you would think I would actually go Haruka because, again, she's more related to Azumi than Yuka is. But I'm going to go against my common sense and do this. Use lava, right? Straight. I think I messed up. Yeah, okay. Let's try again. I glitched out the game. A lobber on the first choice. Cross court. Well, I... Top down. Beer. You forgot about rum. You forgot about scotch. Okay. Okay, so that art asset did not happen. That's funny. Okay. So these are so nothing changes here. Paint. That was worth it? Well, after making me eat that crap you call food, this is like a feast cooked by the gods. Okay. I didn't say that, but sure as thought of it. Oh, so that's all. I thought for certain that because I used a few expired vegetables, you had gotten food poisoning. Those words make us all shudder. Sumi-san, is that true? Okukiko's face twitches with a frigid expression. No, I'm just kidding. It's no good if you all take me seriously. Sumi-san frantically waves her hands, desperately trying to explain herself. It's actually perfectly fine to use expired vegetables. In fact, I never encountered a vegetable with a date on it. That's weird. It's when it looks rotten, it's rotten. And even still, it's still usually safe to eat, it just tastes bad. With your iron stomach, you have nothing to fear. Oni-chan, you've got a sick mind. Kiri pouts in protest. Geez, I know that that was wrong. I'm sorry, everyone. It's fine, but this cooking is seriously the best I've ever had. I try to back her up. I'm glad that you like it. Zumi-san happily watches us eat. So I got a new Azumi sprite. With this, even you can't complain, right, Saki? Yuka then speaks to Saki. Well, it's not bad. As she says this, she seconds after seconds enthusiastically. Since her pizza never arrived, she might not have eaten any lunch. Actually, that was for the the puppy, so incorrect. But anyway, as Saki is eating heartily, Azumi-san is indeed satisfied. Diagonally from me, Haruka and Kurumi are sitting next to each other. Hey, isn't Oni-chan cooking the best? Oni-chan's cooking the best? Smiling, Kurumi asks Haruka this. Just then, Haruka suddenly stops moving, and then quietly places the spoon in her right hand on top of the plate. All of us fall silent. What's wrong, Haruka? I ask her this, but Haruka's lips remain firmly shut and don't move. Kurumi observes Haruka's expression with wonder. I'm sorry. He says this in a quiet voice that's like a whisper. Are you not feeling well? Okuhiko asks this in concern. Yes. Her face certainly looks pretty pale. Now that I think about it, when we got here, it felt like Haruka was acting a little weird. I'm really sorry about this. So I don't know if this never really manifests into anything. I think all it is like a distractor for why Haruka didn't want to come into the cafe. Haruka leans on Azumi-san's arm as she's led far away from the table and quietly sits down in the heat of the seat at the farthest corner of the counter. Did Kurumi say something wrong? Okay, I believe all this dialogue I've read. Okay. Okay. Pool with Azumi. Azumi doesn't go to the pool, right? Does she? Never chosen this before. Where you go to the pool afterwards? Okay. Yesterday morning, you know, and was sort of half asleep. Oh, that. Well, I figured that was the case. It felt like the continuation of a dream. It felt like I had awoken to another dream. What kind of dream was it? It's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, it was a really unpleasant one. It was the worst kind possible, a hopeless dream. A hopeless dream. Could you be more specific? You say that, but I honestly don't really remember it too well. Oh, but I do know that... Hopeless dream, a little worried for some reason, but I do know. What you guys are going to say about after that? Okay, so that's some dialogue that didn't happen. Before I never saw before. Still can't skip. After we had lunch, everyone bathed in the afternoon sunlight while playing in the water like children. Yuka, Azumi-san, Saki, and Okuhiko resembled kids as they merrily played in the water. Even Haruka looked like she was having fun. Before I knew it, my mind had become free from the shadows of Yuka's remaining words. The strongly shining sunlight has wiped out even the smallest traces of clouds in my mind. The sun is going down, causing the temperature to gradually decrease. Shouldn't we be leaving now? Okay, I can skip now. Okay, so... some new dialogue. Or internal monologue and dialogue. Say if Yuka trying to explain her dream at the poolside. I don't know. Try to... Okay. Okay, it's Yuka, I believe. Oh! This is weird. And like me, Azumi-san also has paper. Well then, it's time for another round where Oken, Yuka-san, and Haruka-san can only use rock or paper, okay? Why is that? Can't we just form a group of 3? Wrong-amundo. According to the Japanese Test of Courage Awareness Club rulebook, this year's edition, during a test of courage there may only be groups of 1 or 2. That's how it is. Yuka seems to be relieved as if she's saying, I'm so glad I'm not alone. She takes a deep breath and sighs. Okay. So this is actually the same dialogue again, it's just unclear what the other 2 are. Okay. Fumi lays out the rules. There's an old well somewhere in this graveyard. 2 of you will team up to look for it. If you find it, sign your names on the wall of the well with a pebble as proof. If you can do that, you can return to the start point. It would decide that we should play rock, paper, scissors to pick a representative to choose which pair goes first. They would also decide when the first pair will leave 10 minutes after the first. Incidentally, I won the match. When I heard that I could pick whatever order I liked, I immediately picked to go first since I wanted to get this over with. Though I guess now that I think about it, it doesn't really matter if I go first or last. I can't skip this, but it's not new. However, I'm a little concerned about something. Why is Azumi-san happy that we were teamed up? Because she didn't want to be alone? No, that's not it. Azumi-san isn't frightened at all. If she were scared, she would have opposed going on this test of courage from the start. Not to mention that Azumi-san knows this island inside out. She would have forbade Kurumi from holding the test of courage here if it had been too dangerous. Just like the time she strictly forbade the mystery tour. If that's the case, then I don't know why she wanted to be teamed up with me. I might as well ask her. Hey, Azumi-san. Yes, what is it? Why are you so happy that you were paired with me? I'm just curious. Azumi-san suddenly stops walking and ponders on it for a moment. Finally, she begins to speak. Well, you see, it's because I also wanted to ask you something, Makoto-kun. Me? Do you remember our promise from yesterday? I said that I wanted to have a long talk to you about your premonitions, right? It's happening! Okay, so this is finally being fulfilled. That's good. Premonitions. My blood runs cold at the mention of the word. I've been trying to avoid this dreaded conversation, but now there's no escape. Koto-kun, before we went fishing yesterday, you correctly guessed that the car's battery was dead. And the day before that, you had predicted the lack of rice and the earthquake, right? Tonight's dinner, right? Yes. She sits down on a nearby stone, her head lowered as she remains deep in thought. Following suit, I sit down next to her. Why? Why did these things? These things? I feel a strange sense of discomfort in her tone. It's like she knows this something that I don't. Right, she knows about the Shiki no Mori Shrine and its ability to time travel you, and thinks you're in a time travel loop. Because even though something like premonitions is impossible, why do I know the future? Why do you know the future, Makoto-kun? Azumi-san raises her head and intensely stares into my eyes. Please tell me. Izumi-san's questioning eyes shine and sway in the moonlight. Those eyes are surprisingly clear and beautiful. Izumi-san, I, I, I got distracted by your eyes. I can't answer. My hands faintly tremble. I try to answer her, but I can't. Even I'm clueless about this. Izumi-san, I really don't know. Why am I able to have something like premonitions? Why do I have that dream? Dream? I nod. I feel that if it's Izumi-san, it's okay to tell her everything. Eyes power. This is a bit forced. No, maybe I just want to get it off my chest. I think that if it's Izumi-san, then she'll definitely sympathize with the agony that lurks within my heart. Everything began on that morning. The morning of the 1st, when I had that hopeless dream. What kind of dream? A dream where someone died. How I dream about death? No matter what, I can't remember who the one that died was. Plot convenience! Because he just kind of happens to not remember that specific detail about it, such that the game can vary it between endings and it still makes some sort of remote continuity. For some reason, all I can remember is the date, although I think this game is pretty clear that it doesn't really care about continuity that much. Saturday, April 6th. And if it's just like those premonitions I've been having up until now, then Izumi-san silently listens. Occasionally her eyes drift around as she thinks about something. I wonder if I might have gone completely insane. Even I have absolutely no clue what's what. It's like there's someone else inside me. Just then... Makoto-kun. Izumi-san suddenly mutters my name. Just then. Sprite from the intro cutscene. I mean, not sprite, CG art asset. It happened. Okay. She embraces me tightly. My cheek presses against her warm chest again. It was so sudden, I'm dumbfounded. I can't speak, I can't move. It's alright. You'll definitely be alright. Relax, soon everything will be back to the way it was. Because everything will end. What? I'm wrapped up in Izumi-san's kindness. I feel peaceful and secure in her arms. It's as if I'm being embraced by a goddess. This is like a sudden, before I realize that all traces of the agony within me has disappeared. Ellipses. How long have we been like this? I feel like I'm dozing off, as if time seems to be passing slowly. In the end, Izumi-san. Anyway, don't tell anyone else about the dream. It's alright, because you have nothing to worry about, Makoto-kun. Whispers it softly into my ear and stands up. The ecstasy of tranquility that I feel lingered for a while afterwards. By the time my senses have cleared up, the test of courage has already ended. Well, that was kind of contrived. I don't know what they call it. Cringy? Okay. So we don't have that Kurumi option. Oh. So this is different. Okay. It's not like anyone's watching, so I decide to start an endurance contest with myself. That quickly turns out to be a mistake. My consciousness is fading. After I lose consciousness, I have a dream. So you passed out in a hot spring. I guess your endurance is just sitting in the hot spring as long as you can. In the dream, I am an octopus being boiled to death in a pot. It was such a tragic dream. Is this like frogs in water? If you heat water that a frog is in slow enough, it won't notice the water is heating up and it won't jump out until it dies. When I regain consciousness, the first thing I see is Izumi-san's worried face. As I noticed, it's not just her. Everyone else is surrounding me. Concerned look on their faces. New Izumi sprite. Are you alright? She asked me this gently. My head is on top of Izumi-san's. Okay. 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 It seems I was pulled from the hot spring after I fainted. Everyone else is worried about me. Well, there's one exception. Only the flesh-faced Yuka is reprimanding me in a drunken voice. She seems she got drunk even in a place like this. As expected of a drunkard, she reprimands me in a rather nasty way. Pathetic, you're a guy, aren't you? She pokes me hard on the forehead as she asks this. That hurt. Someone stop her. Grief-ridden tears flood out of my eyes. Okay. Hear her out. Hear her out. Hear her out. Go to Luna Beach. At all. Just hit it. Long time ago. This is gonna funnel me into Yuka, right? Funnel me into Yuka. Okay. Oh, goodness. I'm going to take a short break and then try a little bit at this. Okay, I'll try some other stuff. Just try stuff. You fit, why not? Try this just so. See what the dialogue is. It's not like that. Try to explain myself to her. I see a rock on the road. Whoa. Repeatedly turn in an attempt to avoid it. I try to turn the handles, but the rear wheels slip and collapse from the pressure as we dangerously swerve. Okay. Fate. It's different stuff. Okay. Try not going. So that gives you Kurumi. So you don't want to do that. Okay. So Okay, so that did not get the Yuka scene. Well, we still went to the pool. We didn't go with Kurumi, so... Okay. See paper. Okay, so this is gonna Yuka me, right? And I get Yuka looped. Okay. So escape. Looks like you want to play tennis with Yuka. I'm gonna lob her first. Okay. Do I have to do a new game? It appears so. Okay. That's Yuka. Uh. Okay. Okay. So that didn't work. Dear. As if I messed this up. Uh. Okay, so that does not get the sprite into it. Anyway, so this is happening this time. Okay, I wonder if this is required. Okay, I pick scissors. Okay. 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 Hit the extra option. Okay. 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 Let me try to... Did I glitch out? Load some random save. Okay. Why did that happen to me? Let me try this stunt. Okay, OBS, work. There we go. Close the game and reopen it. Hope everything broke. Okay, well, let's try to get out of this. Okay, now let's load. All my save files got totally messed up. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to end this recording.